Make it infinity. Make it 1 million. Make it 100,000. Make it 10,000. Make it 1,000. Make it 100. Make it 10. Make it 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,025, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 1 trillion, 1 Austrian, 1 Australian, 1 Austrian, 1 million, 1 Syrian, 1 Syrian, 1 million, 1 million, 1 trillion, 1 Australian, 1 this one, 1 this one, 1 million, 1 trillion, 1 trillion, 1 Syria, 1 trillion, 1 trillion, 1 million, 1 Syria, 1 Austria, 1 Russia, 1 Russia, 1 Switzerland, 1 Switzerland, 1 Switzerland, and Jimmy, 1 Jimmy, 1,000, a Swinny, Google, 751, a 52, a 541, a 522, and did it. Infinity. Infinity minus 1 million. Infinity minus 100,000. Infinity minus 10,000. Infinity minus 1,000. Infinity minus 100. Infinity minus 10. Infinity minus 5. Infinity minus 2. Infinity minus 1. Infinity. Infinity that's 1. Infinity that's 10. Infinity that's 100. Infinity that's 1,000. Infinity that's 10,000. Infinity that's 100,000. Infinity that's 1 million. Infinity that's 10 million. Infinity that's 100 million. Infinity that's 1 billion. Infinity that's infinity. Infinity square. Infinity. Not infinity. What's infinity? What's infinity? What's infinity? What's the infinity? Omega. Omega. What's 1? Omega. That's it. Omega 3. Omega 10 4. Omega square. Omega cube. Omega omega. Epsilon. Epsilon 1. Epsilon omega. Zenith no. 5 4. Squawk. Victor Oscar, you travel. Chino Scano, a civility.
Absolute 10 infinity. Absolute 100 infinity. Absolute 1,000 infinity. Absolute infinite infinity. Absolutely infinity. Absolutely everything. The next is the capital.
1x,
2x,
3x,
4x,
5x, 6x,
7x, 8x, 9x,
1x power 1x, 1 try x, 1 quadr x,
1 quint x, 1 infinity x, 1x double.
Absolute every number. Absolute every number squared.
Capital B. Double capital B. Capital B squared. Capital B cubed. Absolute never.
Profinity. Profinity score. Profinity U. Superfinity. Superfinity absolute never. Superfinity score. Megafinity. Superfinity. Megafinity.
Godfinity.
Oblivion infinity,
Super Godfinity.
Anta Oblivion infinity, Absol subscribe infinity, Absol Cube infinity case 90.
Godfinity.
Absolute logit x. Absolute to God 12. Negative with the infinity. D dot G number. D dot S dot G number. Absolute super God.
Elway infinity.
Capital Alway. Absolute Alway never. Alway God. Alway super God. Alway to God. Ultimate infinity. Absolute transparent.
Absolute ultimate Elway logit sucker.
Absolute sinusoid double function.
Perfinity. Master infinity.
Infinite infinity. Infinite infinity plus 1. Infinite infinity plus 10. Infinite infinity plus 100. Infinite infinity plus 1,000. Infinite infinity plus 1 million. Infinite infinity plus infinity. Infinite infinity plus absolute infinity. Infinite infinity plus absolutely everything. Infinite infinity plus nx is the original. Infinite infinity plus 1x. Infinite infinity plus 1x power 1x. Infinite infinity plus absolute every number. Infinite infinity plus capital there. Infinite infinity plus absolute never. Infinite infinity plus infinity. Infinite infinity plus ultimate infinity. Infinite infinity plus infinity. Infinite infinity plus master infinity. Infinite infinity time 2. Infinite infinity time infinity. Infinite infinity time capital there. Infinite infinity time absolute. Infinite infinity time infinity.
plus infinity. Infinity plus absolute infinity. Infinity plus absolute never. Infinity plus non-infinity. Infinity plus ultimate infinity. Infinity plus infinite infinity. Double infinity. Triple infinity. Quadruple infinity. Infinity square. Infinity cube. Infinity plex. Infinity duplex. Forcefinity. Forcefinity plus 1. Forcefinity plus absolute infinity. Forcefinity plus absolute never. Forcefinity plus non-infinity. Forcefinity plus infinity. Forcefinity times 2. Forcefinity times 3. Forcefinity times 5. Forcefinity times 10. Forcefinity times 100. Forcefinity times 1000. Forcefinity square. Forcefinity cube. Forcefinity cube plex. Forcefinity cube duplex.
3-finity, 3-finity plus 1, 3-finity plus 10, 3-finity plus 100, 3-finity plus infinity, 3-finity plus absolute infinity, 3-finity plus absolute never, 3-finity plus godfinity, 3-finity plus infinityfinity, 3-finity plus forcefinity, 3-finity double, 3-finity square, 3-finity cube.
Absolute ultimate infinity. Absolute ultimate infinity plus 1. Absolute ultimate infinity plus 10. Absolute ultimate infinity plus 100. Absolute ultimate infinity plus infinity. Absolute ultimate infinity plus absolute infinity. Absolute ultimate infinity plus absolute never. Absolute ultimate infinity plus godfinity. Absolute ultimate infinity plus infinite affinity. Absolute ultimate infinity plus infinity. Absolute ultimate infinity plus absolute super duper. Absolute ultimate infinity double. Absolute ultimate infinity square. Absolute ultimate infinity cube. Absolute ultimate infinity double cubes. Absolute ultimate infinity super cubes.
Absolute crores, absolute crores square, absolute crores power, absolute higher, absolute crores cube, absolute crores double cubes, absolute crores super cubes, absolute infinity square, absolute infinity power, absolute higher, absolute infinity power, absolute floors, absolute infinity power, absolute floors power, absolute higher, absolute infinity square, absolute infinity cube, absolute infinity double cubes.
Absolute extreme. Absolute extreme square. Absolute extreme power, absolute power. Absolute extreme power, absolute cores. Absolute extreme power, absolute cores power, absolute power. Absolute extreme power, absolute infinity. Absolute extreme power, absolute infinity power, absolute power. Absolute extreme power, absolute infinity power, absolute cores. Absolute extreme power, absolute infinity power, absolute cores power, absolute power. Absolute extreme cube. Absolute extreme double cubes. Absolute extreme super cubes.
Quint power. Quint power, absolute power. Quint power, absolute crores. Quint power, absolute power. Quint power, absolute extreme. Super everything, power, everything. Quint power cube. Quint power double cubes. Quint power super cubes.
Sex power, absolute power. Sex power, absolute crores. Sex power, absolute infinity. Sex power, absolute extreme. Sex power, quint power. Super duper, everything power, everything. Sex cube. Sex double cubes. Sex super cubes.
Sect pyre power, absolute pyre. Sect pyre power, absolute cores. Sect pyre power, absolute infinity. Sect pyre power, absolute extreme. Sect pyre power, quint pyre. Sect pyre power, sext pyre. Mega everything power, everything. Sect pyre cube. Sect pyre double cubes. Sect pyre super cubes.
Alt power, absolute infinity. Alt power, absolute power. Alt power, absolute crores. Alt power, absolute infinity. Alt power, absolute extreme. Alt power, quint power. Alt power, sex power. Alt power, set power. Ultra everything power, everything. Alt power cube. Alt power double cubes. Alt power super cubes.
Extreme affinity power, absolute power. Extreme affinity power, absolute cruise. Extreme affinity power, absolute infinity. Extreme affinity power, absolute extreme. Extreme affinity power, quint power. Absolute extreme affinity super duper. Extreme affinity power, sex power. Extreme affinity power, set power. Extreme affinity power, walk power. Giga everything power, everything. Extreme Affinity Cube. Extreme Affinity Double Cubes. Extreme Affinity Super Cubes.
Absolute possible.
Nghe có hốc thú không?
Undecipire.
Oidiciaur.
Tridecipire. Quadrecipire.
Quintecipire. Sextecipire.
Septudecipire. Octodecipire.
Novadecipire.
Absolute double impossible.
Absolute Triple Impossible.
Absolute quadruple impossible.
Absolute Quintuple Impossible. Absolute Sextuple Impossible.
Absolute sextuple impossible. Absolute octuple impossible. Absolute nontuple impossible.
Absolute Illuminati.
Gigafinity. Terrafinity.
Metafinity.
Exactly. Zetafinity. Yotafinity. Rafinity. Quinfinity. Zetafinity.
Quinfinity. Absolutely high as everything.
Absolutely curious about everything. Absolutely curious about everything. Absolutely curious about everything.
Absolute infinity pyre. Absolutely infinity pyre. Absolutely everything pyre. Absolute everything possible pyre.
Absolute X Pyre. Absolute Double X Pyre. Absolute X Super Pyre. Absolute X Ultra Pyre. Absolute X Giga Pyre. Absolute X Terra Pyre. Absolute X Beta Pyre. Absolute X Exapyre. Absolute X Zeta Pyre. Absolute X Google Pyre. Absolute X Yada Pyre. Absolute X Infinity Pyre. Absolute X Absolute Infinity Pyre. Absolute X Absolutely Everything Pyre. Absolute Always X Pyre.
Absolute X every other line. Capital T fire. Double capital T fire.
Megapyre. Gigapyre. Terapyre. Petapyre. Exapyre.
Zetapyre. Yadapyre.
Our infinity pyre.
Ultimate Infinity Cure.
Absolute Sinus Studio Function Fire. Profinity Port.
Masterfinity Pyre.
Infinity Fire.
Infinity Pyre.
Forcefinity Pyre.
Absolute Super Duper Pyre.
Absolute Ultimate Infinity Pyre.
Absolute yin yang.
Spinner's Fire.